Okay, students, I'm gonna create an abstract piece of art using Photoshop and then also 3D in Photoshop. I'm going to open an image in Photoshop, Adobe, and I'm going to go to my desktop and look for a photo in here. I think I had I was gonna get some of my students in my class, but maybe I'll just take this from the track meet and see how that works. Yeah, yeah, let's do that. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is duplicate my layer. I can press Command J or I can right click on that and just duplicate it that way. I'm going to go up to Filter, the top, and go to Blur, Gaussian Blur, and I'm going to blur this about 75 pixels, so a lot. Somewhere in that area, 75. I'm on 76. I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to duplicate that layer again. And just duplicate that. You can press Command J as well. And then I'm going to turn the top layer off, meaning I'm going to take that eye off and I'm going to highlight the background copy. Okay. I'm going to press Command T, or I can go up to Edit, Free Transform, which is Command T, same thing. And once I have that, I'm going to go up to the top up here where it allows me to warp, switch between transform and warp modes. So I click on that. I should have the blue outline going. And I'm just going to go inside of this and maybe warp it a little bit to the right. Okay. I'm going to hit that, and I'm going to go to the top layer and repeat this process. So I'm going to turn on background copy 2, turn on that. This time I'm going to hit Command T, hit that warp, and then this time I'm going to warp this in this direction. Okay? And hit that check mark at the top. I'm going to make another copy of my background. So I'm going to go to the background layer, the bottom layer, highlight that, and make a copy of it first. Duplicate layer, say OK, and I'm going to move this to the very top, all the way up. So I see that now. Okay, if I turn that off, I would see what I just created. All right, so if you got this far, you're doing really good. I'm going to blur this the same way I did before. So I'm going to go up to Filter, go to Blur, Gaussian Blur, and I'm at 75. I'm just going to hit OK. All right. I'm going to do the Command T on this, and I'm going to go up to the warp at the top. And I'm going to bend this side over this side like this. Something like that. And then take this one this way. Now you're not limited to doing this. I mean, you can do something whatever you want. You can even take one of these and do this. It's really up to you. You can do something like that as well. You're creating an abstract, all right? So I'm going to hit the check mark. I'm going to change my blend mode over here on the top of my layers panel. And I'm going to go to soft light. So you can even do it even more if you wanted to. You can add, you can go to up to free transform again, press Command T again, and you can warp this again if you wanted to. You're not, you're not restricted, put it that way. You can, if you want to mess with this even more, maybe pull it down there, maybe pull this one out here. Play around with this free transform as much as you want. You're not limited or bound, put it that way. So I'll do something like that. I'm going to hit my check mark at the top. Okay. And then I'm going to create a stamp. And I create a stamp on my Mac, right? Because we're using Macs, by holding the Command and Option key. So the two keys just left of the space bar, and I hold those both down with my thumb. That's how I do it. And then with my index finger, I hold the Shift key. So over on my left side, I have Command and the Option key and also the Shift key. All three of those held down. And then I reach over with my right hand and press the letter E. And you should get a whole new layer that combined all those layers together. Sort of like merging them, but we call it a stamp. And it's a little difficult to do because you do have to use both hands and you kind of have to use your thumb. Okay, once you have that, I'm going to go up to 3D at the top of the menu and click on that, and I'm going to go New Mesh from Layer, and I'm going to scroll over and go to Mesh Preset, and you can choose your own. I'm going to choose Sphere, and magically you're about to create a 3D layer. Would you like to switch to 3D? And you say yes. And if Photoshop 3D features are being discontinued, features are not working. Let's see if it works for me. There it is. So once I have that, I can move this around, and you'll see it's got its own little three-dimensional form shadow, even like it's got light projected on it. And let's say I had the light source over here on the left top of my sphere, and then my shadow is created over there. Or if you want the light source right on, like in this area, then you wouldn't have that shadow. And that's it. Feel free to explore. This is abstract. Feel free to use different mesh layers, some of the presets, play around with it. And that's it. Enjoy your abstract art in Photoshop.